Doesn't out, Pluto. Doesn't out.
Circle PJ down there, put the whole damn crew on.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Bama Vet Fishing. And today I'm going to show you guys how I use pool noodles and PVC pipe to build my jug lines for catfishing. Pretty simple thing. Just using a bunch of stuff I have in my tackle box that I had just laying around. So if you guys stay tuned, follow me as I show you guys how to construct jug line using pool noodles and PVC pipe. So going around the table, what I have right here, your standard 3-inch pool noodle that you guys get from Walmart, the dollar store, whatever. I have right here a 5-foot section of 1-inch PVC pipe. I have a spool of 100-pound braided line. I have another spool of 50-pound mono, some masking tape, tape measure, a 5 and 32nd inch drill bit, some 1-ounce bank sinkers. Some of my daughters left their beads out here. They just visited not too long ago, so they left some of the beads here. So I'm gonna use these beads to help protect my knots. I got some swivels I had laying around the tackle box, some Gorilla Glue, and I got some 8/0 offset circle hooks. All right. I have my saw. Also, that's gonna help me cut my noodle and my PVC pipe down. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my tape measure and my pool noodle, and I'm gonna measure my pool noodle to the length of 10 inches and 3/4 of an inch. So 10 and 3/4. Next, I'm gonna I'll measure my PVC pipe down to a 5-foot section. So every 12 inches, I'm gonna measure it and mark it. So I have 12 inches. You can just set your tape measure straight on here and set it, and then you just mark it every foot. Another reason for that, guys, once again, just like on the noodle, you're using up every single piece of this PVC pipe. And if you notice, the PVC pipe length is longer than your noodle. You want about 1 inch to maybe 2 to 3 inches of PVC still exposed from inside of your pool noodle to give you something to attach your line to. All right, so that's why the PVC is a little bit longer than what your pool noodle will be. All right, guys, so you can see I have 5 pieces of PVC and 5 pieces of noodle cut down to 5 3/4 inch and 12-inch pieces. All right, so my first step is to take my masking tape, and I want to tape off the rough sides of the PVC pipe so they can be inserted into the pool noodle. So all I do, and also on my time lapse, I drill pretty much a little hole on one side of the PVC pipe. I use the smooth side most times, so I can stick the rough side inside the PVC pipe so it won't cut or fray my line whenever I'm using it. Guys, make sure you're using the right ends. You don't want to use the end where you already pre-drill your holes at. All right. All right, guys, so took a little forcing, but I used a different type of Gorilla Glue. I used the clear glue. It doesn't set as fast as the brown glue did, so it took me a little bit to force them in there, but I got all 5 pieces of PVC inside a noodle. So my next step is to get my braided line. I'm gonna cut 4-foot sections of braid, and then I'm gonna tie them around my points that I pre-drilled with my drill bit. So if you guys wanna make sure you clean up these little problem spots right here so you don't fray or possibly cut your line whenever you're using your noodle. All right, guys, so took a little forcing, but I used a different type of Gorilla Glue. I used the clear glue. It doesn't set as fast as the brown glue did, so it took me a little bit to force them in there, but I got all 5 pieces of PVC inside a noodle. So my next step is to get my braided line. I'm gonna cut 4-foot sections of braid, and then I'm gonna tie them around my points that I pre-drilled with my drill bit. So if you guys wanna make sure you clean up these little problem spots right here so you don't fray or possibly cut your line whenever you're using it. Got my braid, I'm gonna measure it out 5 pieces on my tape measure here. And all I'm doing is measuring it down to 4 feet. Might go a little bit over 4 feet to give me room to tie my knots with. All right, that is done. So all I'm gonna do now is take my braided line and run it through my pre-drill holes right here. And I'll just tie like a double overhand knot or a bowline or anything like that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tie me a bowline to make sure that it's never comes undone under pressure. And then I tie me an overhand safety. Well, there you go. So do all 5 exactly the same. All right, guys, so next I'm gonna use my weight going over my braided line. So right now, all I'm using is 1-ounce bank sinkers. You guys can use egg sinkers. You can use whatever type of sinker you might have or available. But I just had a bunch of these 1-ounce sinkers laying in my tackle box, so might as well use them instead of buying more. I'm just gonna fix my sinker over the line. You guys can use sinker slides and any of that cool stuff if you have them lying around. I didn't want to go out and spend the extra money, so I'm just gonna put them directly onto my braided line. Next, to protect my knot, I'm gonna use these beads I have left over for my daughter's visiting here recently. If you guys are watching, Daddy loves you. And I'm just gonna use a couple of these over to protect my knot from my weight sliding up and down my line. All right, guys, so in case you can see, I got the lead with my beads with my swivel on. So this one just so happened to be a barrel swivel. And you can cut these little tag lines off to pretty everything up. Then all you left with is your swivel and your bead. All right, so next I'm gonna take my 50-pound mono and then I'm gonna measure out 3-foot sections of mono. All right, so I got it measured one time. I'm just gonna cut the exact same length for all of them. There's 2. 3, 4, and number 5. Remember, guys, like I said in the beginning, I made these from things that I just had laying around the house. Only thing I really had to go out and buy was a PVC pipe and the pool noodle. All right, guys, so I want to give you a close-up of how I'm going to tie my fishing line to my hooks. So here, I got my 7/0 offset circle hook. See how that eye and the hook point is offset of the shank of the hook? That's why it's called an offset hook. So my first step with my mono, I'm going to take my tag in. I'm going to run it from the back of the eyelet to the shank. And I'm just going to wrap the back side of it down at least 7 times. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I give it one more turn. I'm gonna take my long side, and then I'm just gonna bring it from the back side of the eyelet through to the front, and then there you go. You have what we call a knotless knot or a snail knot. Take these, make a quick double overhand, and I can just easily snap these in and out of my swivels. All right, guys, so now that I have my knots all snailed up and they're ready to be tied onto my main line of my jug line. So for this one, just has a regular snap swivel, and all I do, snap it in, and then it's good to go. All right. This one right here also has a snap swivel. Take my loop I made with my double overhand knot, and I just clip it into my snap swivel. There you go, guys. Fast and easy way to make pool noodles, jug lines. I love these things, guys. It helps your productivity while you're out in the water. You're maximizing your time and your efforts while you're out there in the water. One of the main bait of choice that I use on these things are fresh cut shad or fresh cut bluegill. These things work amazing if you just allow them to drift. I know there's different versions out there to where you can affix the weight to the bottom so they stay kind of stationary. But me personally, I like for my pool noodles to move around the water column, so I'm covering way more water over the amount of time that I'm out there for. I want to keep bringing you guys these videos, so please subscribe, comment below. Let me know some better tips that I could add to my pool noodles, jug lines, and some different strategies you guys would like to see me try and do next. So thank you for watching, and Bama Vet Fishing out.